Jim, thank you. Now to the federal hate crimes trial of Travis and Gregory McMichael and William Roddy Bryan, the convicted killers of Ahmaud Arbery. Today, the jury watched video of the moments before and after Arbery was shot to death. Both the Arbery and McMichael families were in the courtroom, although at one point, Arbery's loved ones left when images of his body lying on the ground were shown. News 4 Jax reporter Janice Harris is covering the trial. She's joining us live from Brunswick with details of today's testimony. Janice.
You know, at some point, we're going to hear about some of those racial slurs that were mentioned by these men prior to the death of Ahmaud Arbery, because this is a situation where that was not allowed in the state case, but it will be allowed in the federal case. But the buildup is the same as it has been in the state case, in the sense that you still have to have that discussion by way of the United States government and the defense side when it comes to Ahmaud Arbery being murdered. But will the evidence be enough for this to be considered a hate crime?
The U.S. government has called 4 witnesses today for the federal hate crime trial, setting the scene for what happened on February 23rd, 2020, that led to Ahmaud Arbery's death. They were shown the cell phone video of Arbery being chased and murdered. According to witness Sergeant Sheila Ramos, she took approximately 200 photos on the day of the shooting. Those included Arbery's bloodied body. The McMichael men said they believed Arbery had been stealing from an under-construction house of Larry English. The jury learned in court today, though Arbery was seen on surveillance in the house, he never stole anything. On the stand, Richard Dowd testified saying, both Travis and Greg McMichael said they did point their guns at Arbery. Arbery had no weapon, merchandise, backpack, cell phone, or wallet. During recess, we saw Greg McMichael's wife and Arbery's family. Barbara Arwine with Transformative Justice, who has been supportive of the Arbery family, said she doesn't understand why the 3 defendants won't just enter a guilty plea.
The evidence is so overwhelming. Just why don't they just plead guilty? Why don't they just admit? And the evidence is so overwhelming.
Arbery's father says the actions of the McMichael men and Bryan bring shame to the community.
I'm just really disappointed in our town here. I'm really disappointed my children were raised and born here, and this kind of stuff went on.
So far, no one from the McMichael or Bryan family has spoken to us. The evidence has been very similar to that presented in the state case, but the U.S. government will have to show evidence that proves the men murdered Arbery because of his race.
And also, most of the day has been presented by the United States government, but in cross-examination, the defense had a chance to bring up certain points in their argument. For instance, they said Ahmaud Arbery had a place of which he could have escaped. He could have went into someone's yard. There was no fence. They were trying to suggest, they didn't understand why he simply only walked or ran in the middle of the street. But then at the same time, you had the United States government, when they were able to counter in their argument today, they brought up specifically that there was a photo of a person in the community that they actually believed had been committing crimes. It was not Ahmaud Arbery, and it was a man who's white. Now, for today, this is the end of the trial for today. We'll pick back up at 9 a.m. But in the meantime, this jury has been sequestered, and they will be for the entire trial. Reporting live in Brunswick at the federal courthouse, Janice Harris, Channel 4, the local station.